What's good, interweb? This is your man Q back again, and you know I had to talk about this Zelda. I actually had another video planned, but after spending the weekend at Zelda's house, she wasn't there though. Her ass ain't never at the damn castle. Hey! Who stays at the castle more? Is it Peach or is it Zelda? How you get lost in your own damn castle? Didn't your mama's boyfriend's cousin? Okay, look. If you're new to the channel and you like the content that you see, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It lets YouTube know that, hey Geek, you're doing a good job. And then they send it to more people. It's free 99 to do, and I appreciate y'all. So if you're like me, you've probably spent the entire weekend with Zelda. No, not her. I don't want no trouble, Link.
Or do I?
Last week, Tears of the Kingdom, the highly anticipated game and successor of Breath of the... I'd always want to call it Breath of Fire. Capcom, Breath of Fire, please. Capcom, Breath of Fire, please. Last week, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom dropped and is the successor of Breath of the Wild, which, can you believe it's already been 5 years since that dropped? So, I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. And I'm pretty sure if you've heard of it, you've seen the 10 out of 10, 9.9999 ratings pretty much everywhere. And it's to be expected and on pace to become the best-selling Zelda game of all time. However, it does have a few shortcomings. So for a few minutes here, I just wanted to get up on my soapbox and, you know, talk to y'all about how I've been liking it so far. I'm not about to get here and shit on the game because I've been a Zelda fan for over 3 decades now. I've seen the posts, I've watched some of the vids, but I've sincerely been enjoying myself playing Tears of the Kingdom so much that it kind of scares me because it's a time sink and whew, it's just so much to do and so much to see. Should I be playing now? And on the flip side of it, I'm not gonna get on here and fanboy neither and only talk about how it's the greatest game to be thrust upon man since the video games were dropped from the heavens. Again, I'm just giving y'all my thoughts and opinions. And the first thing I want to say is I'm loving it, but I feel like I've done this before. One of the game's notable achievements is the game is stunning. And the graphics, okay, wait, no. Stunning and solid graphics for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it looks good for the Nintendo Switch, kind of like on that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 level. Like, you know, it should be better, Nintendo, but it's only so much they could do with the Switch. This game is one of those games where you know that your system just a little bit, you know, maybe you just holding on to the relationship just a too, I think you better let it go, but they still making money on the Switch. But at least it runs smoother than Breath of the Wild because I haven't really experienced any glitcher, knock on wood. The game, just like the one before, does have some lush backgrounds in some parts of the game, especially when you're like on top of something high up. It makes it feel like it's like a canvas painting or a picture. So those aspects of the aesthetic of being like Skyward Sword, but on the ground is kind of like Breath of the Wild. I really like those things, and this game in particular is an engineer's dream. The devs that come behind this game, like whatever open world game that comes behind this now, they gonna have a lot to look to compete with, because even if it's not with character development, because well, Link is still the same, he ain't changed. He ain't gonna change. If the rumors is true about the, you know, the movie, they might make a movie because there's been rumblings about the Mario Brothers movie creators talking about they like to see Zelda, which I like to see it even more than the Mario movie because we can finally hear Link talk and maybe even like a flashback of, well, excuse me, princess. Like, I always like Link being like that cocky, annoying little, like, I know I'm good. Like, he might not even like Aladdin kind of attitude. Like, he might not have it. Like, see, just give it, see, it still kind of feels like the Breath of the Wild to me, which is not saying anything bad because Breath of the Wild itself was a 10 out of 10 game, and I put over like 200 hours into the game. My favorites, can't really say here on Tears of the Kingdom yet, but some of my favorite Zeldas in no particular order are Ocarina of Time, which honestly might be my favorite still. And I need to go back and play Twilight Princess, but Breath of the Wild is up there, as well as Link to the Past and Minish Cap. I really enjoyed the game. I just really continue to want more in story than just gameplay. But again, where it doesn't have in story where I'm at, it makes up for it in sheer gameplay. To piggyback off what I was saying earlier about the engineering, being an engineer's dream, is there's so many things to do. And if any of y'all are familiar with dev things or Unity and other builders, even like RPG Maker and stuff, they even have the whole XY axle where, you're using your control to be able to, when you're putting things together and twist them apart and rotating them. I thought that was a very cool aspect. And the game is heavy because I record my gameplay, and the typical game, like I just recorded the Lost Odyssey, 13 episodes of that for the archives, and Lost Odyssey, the whole thing, the 13 episodes is about maybe 14-15 gigabytes. One Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom file is 8.5 for just 2 hours. That's a lot of gigs. So if anybody else is recording it, I'm almost tempted just not to, because it eats up space. But that's just a behind the scenes thing. I just thought I would want to point that out because the game is heavy, and it's heavy for the Switch, even if, like somebody said, Final Fantasy 13 for the 360 looks better than it. And after the initial learning curve and getting past the whole tutorial island bit, you are pretty much open to do whatever the hell you want. You can even beeline straight to the end of the game, so I heard. That's if you got the skill to play. And right now for me, I ain't got that kind of skill because I was having trouble with, making logs line up. And I know I ain't the only one. Even though I said the whole weekend, honestly, I had to force myself not to make it the whole weekend because I had to get some work done. But all in all, I really have enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom, and I can actually see from my list Breath of the Wild. I almost said Breath of Fire again. Capcom? Breath of the Wild getting pushed down and seeing Tears of the Kingdom take its place. I was startled because when you first turn on the Nintendo Switch and you pop in the game and you start the game up and you see Zelda talking and you see Link and the way they doing everything, it felt very cinematic. And I'm really wondering, like, what y'all about to do? What's happening here? What's good? And then, well, what we seen in the trailers, that happened like right in the beginning. But all in all, despite some of the criticisms such as the frame rate, narrative, or lack thereof narrative, the game is good. And it's a must buy for the Nintendo Switch. And I hate to say it, no, is any game right now, especially for the Switch where you're running, is it worth $69.99? I mean, it's Zelda. I bought it. I still feel a certain kind of way playing $69.99 for certain games, especially. We need a new Switch soon, Nintendo. Let's put it this way. We need to switch it up. And y'all, again, Nintendo, they so slick. I love y'all though. But y'all so slick. Of course, this Zelda's game is gonna sell more units or make more money than the previous one, which is Breath of the Wild, because it's $10 more. The game is addictive and a time sink. It allows us as players to have a sense of creative freedom with that addictive nature that kind of makes us want to come back and do it again, or at least, like, a lot of my problem with these open world type games, just go around randomly and exploring shit. Whether you hate it or you love it, Zelda ain't going nowhere, and Link still ain't gonna talk. But you know, that's a video for another day. Maybe somewhere in the game where I'm at, don't tell me though, but maybe Zelda, she's playable. She's not, huh? She's like Cindy from Final Fantasy 15. She's just there. At least I can go back and visit Cindy. Yeah. It's a good game though. It's a good game. And as always in the web, let me wipe my eyes. Remember to eat, sleep, geek, repeat. And if you're new to the channel and you like the content that you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make geekly content here all the time about these RPGs. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace! For the longest time, I wasn't being legit or for real with myself either, because that was a part of me. And even though I was doing it in secret. And then it just hit me. And that's when it hit me. And that's when I became a geek. Finally, the sleeper has awakened. I am the prince of all geeks once again.